Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Wait, does Tammy Slaton have her nephew Gage in a dress? Tammy Slaton posted a photo of herself holding a baby on Instagram recently. Some fans were a little confused by the baby. Why? Well, because many just assumed the baby must be her sister Amy's baby. The adorable little baby, however, was clearly rocking a dress. Tammy Slaton's Instagram followers were a little baffled as to why she would have baby Gage in a dress. Did Tammy Slaton put baby Gage in a dress? Many of her followers quickly started to ask questions about the baby in the comments. Not all of the comments were negative. Is that Gage? That looks like a dress. Beautiful baby and auntie either way. One follower penned in the comments. The fan was obviously a little confused by seeing a baby in a dress. But they were ready to support Amy's son wearing dresses if they decided to go that route with him. The comment above started a bit of a feud on Tammy's Instagram. One follower was horrified that someone would have a problem with Gage being in a dress. Are boys not allowed to wear a dress? The individual fired back at the original comment. Others responded to the question adding that no, a baby boy shouldn't be in a dress. The person who left the original comment clarified they had no issue with a boy in a dress. But Amy Halterman has never posted photos of her son in a dress. So, it seemed a little weird for Tammy to put him in one. The individual, however, went on to speculate this might not even be Gage. Fans quickly get to the bottom of it. Another follower jumps into the chatter to point out that Tammy Slaton clearly identifies the baby as her niece. So, no, the baby in a dress is not baby Gage. The original commenter fires back to point out that there was no caption when she originally made her comment. It wasn't until Tammy started receiving comments about the baby in a dress that she edited her caption to identify the baby. Another fan thought it was hilarious that fans couldn't tell the baby wasn't Gage because the baby was wearing a dress. A few furious fans rushed to defend Tammy, noting they wished people would learn to read. You clowns so busy judging her and you can't read. That is not Gage, one supportive follower exclaimed. It appears as if the confusion stemmed from the fact that Tammy Slaton didn't originally have a caption on the photo, and some fans had no idea who the baby was. Once the confusion stirred in her comments, she altered her caption. The Slaton family had never been known for blending quietly into the background. Whether it was Tammy's bold voice echoing through a room or Amy's endless enthusiasm spilling into every new adventure, there was always something happening. A little chaos, a lot of love, and enough laughter to rattle the windows. But nothing could have prepared them for the viral wildfire that lit up social media one sunny Kentucky afternoon. It started with one photo. Amy had posted it innocently. Well, as innocently as a Slaton ever posted anything. Tammy had been babysitting her nephew, little Gage, who had just turned 4 and was in that wildly unpredictable stage where everything was an opportunity for discovery. That morning, he'd discovered Aunt Tammy's closet. The photo showed Gage in a sparkly blue dress, one that Tammy had bought as a joke costume piece for a TikTok trend months earlier. The skirt poofed out with layers of tulle, decorated with glitter stars. Gage stood proudly, one hand on his little hip, the other holding a toy dinosaur who also wore a tiny cape Tammy had fashioned from a torn dish towel. Behind him sat Tammy in her motorized chair, laughing so hard she had tears streaming down her face. Amy had snapped the picture when she came to pick up the kids. It was adorable. It was innocent. And it was exactly the kind of thing Slaton fans would turn into a storm. Within an hour the post had comments flooding in. Tammy, why is Gage in a dress? This is too cute. Let kids be kids. Tammy losing her mind again? I can't stop laughing at the dinosaur cape. By the next morning it was trending. But Tammy Slaton wasn't new to public opinion. She had faced storms far worse than a child in a costume dress. She sat in bed scrolling through the reactions, snorting with laughter every time someone exaggerated the situation. Across the hall, Amy paced frantically. Tam, the internet's acting like you put him in a ball gown for a pageant or something, she groaned. It was just a play dress. He wore it for 5 minutes. Tammy waved her hand dismissively. Girl, calm down. He was happy. He was playing. Let him talk. She took another sip of her iced tea. Besides, she added with a mischievous grin, the whole thing had happened naturally. When Amy dropped off Gage and baby Glenn for the afternoon, Tammy was excited. She loved spending time with them, especially now that she had her health improving, her confidence rising, and her sass fully restored. Gage, curious and lively, had wandered into Tammy's bedroom while she was folding laundry. His eyes immediately locked onto the shimmering blue fabric hanging on the edge of a chair. "Aunt Tammy, what's that?" he asked, pointing. "This? Oh, that's just a silly dress Aunt Tammy bought for a TikTok video I never made." She shrugged. "It's sparkly. Want to see it?" Gage nodded fiercely. The second the dress touched his hands, his imagination took flight. "I'm a dragon queen," he yelled, spinning in circles. The dress was 3 sizes too big, but Tammy had tied the back with a hair scrunchie to keep it from slipping. Soon he marched up to her with his dinosaur. He needs a costume too. That's how Tammy found herself ripping up an old towel to fashion a cape. Gage squealed, sprinting around the living room as though saving the world from imaginary fires. She filmed a bit of it for her private camera roll, laughing and cheering him on. When Amy arrived, she couldn't help snapping a photo of the two. Gage proudly posing in the glittery dress, and Tammy grinning beside him like she'd just discovered a new brand of happiness. It was sweet. It was harmless. It was family. But online? Online was another universe. That afternoon, Amy paced in circles while Tammy scrolled comments and occasionally shouted, "Oh my God, this one says you letting me corrupt their kids through Wi-Fi. Girl, the internet is wild." "Aunt Tammy," Gage said, tugging on her sleeve, still dressed in his dinosaur pajamas. "Are they mad at you?" Tammy shook her head immediately and pulled him close. "No, honey. Some grown-ups don't know how to mind their own business. But you know what? Aunt Tammy don't care." "Not even a little?" he asked. "Not even a smidge." Gage giggled and toddled off to play, safe in the knowledge that everything was fine. Amy exhaled. "I don't want people thinking we're doing something wrong." Tammy finally set her phone down. Her voice softened. "Ames, listen. Kids play. Kids explore. If a 4-year-old puts on a dress because it sparkles, that don't mean nothin', except that he likes shiny things. You know how many times I wore your shoes as a kid? Mama thought I was gonna break an ankle." Amy cracked a smile. "You did break an ankle." "Details," Tammy said dramatically. Amy sat beside her sister. "I just want people to be kind." "They won't," Tammy said simply. "But we will. That's what matters." By evening, Tammy decided to post a video. Not a defensive rant, not a long explanation, just classic Tammy humor. She turned on her camera, wearing the same sparkly dress, stuffed over her t-shirt, with a dish towel cape tied around her neck. "So apparently," she began with a dead serious face, "I have single-handedly ruined the internet by letting my nephew play dress-up." She held up Gage's dinosaur, now wearing sunglasses. "This is our attorney," she announced. "He advised me to tell y'all to chill." Amy cackled behind the camera. Tammy continued, "Gage had fun. Nobody died. And this dress is actually kinda breezy, so maybe y'all should try one." She winked, blew a kiss at the camera, and ended the recording. Within minutes the video went viral, not with outrage but with laughter. Fans praised Tammy for her humor, her confidence, her ability to defuse drama without feeding it. By bedtime, the narrative had shifted entirely.